Hello, guys. Hello. I wanted to come on today to rant, actually. I know you're like, Nicole, really? Wanted to come on and rant about the rising cost of food. You guys know we do a lot of shopping, so I'm going to wait a few minutes to allow some people to come in so we can just go ahead and get into this conversation. Hi. Hello, Ambassador Trinity. How are you, my love? Hope you're doing well. So you saw I'm not sure if you saw the topic or not, but I just wanted to do a little rant about the cost of food. It is really ridiculous. I went to the grocery store a few days ago, and I shop a lot, which probably, if you have a family of more than one person, you probably do a lot of shopping like me. But I shop a lot, and I went in the store and only purchased 5 items. And for the 5 items, I paid almost $30. You're in bed? Well, you know what? You have to get rest because you are super busy and you are showing out on social media, honey. So kudos to you growing your following. But yeah, I just wanted to run some errands today and just come on live because it's been a while since I talked to you guys. It's been actually, I think the last time I went live was probably the 4th of July when we were doing all that cooking. And let me tell you, the price, what we spent in the store that day was a whole lot. It was a whole lot. So I read a lot. I am sort of like I guess you can call me a bookworm. I read a lot. Now, I don't watch the news all the time, and I tell you why. For my mental health. Sometimes I need to just turn the TV off, not watch the news, because that's just how it is. There's so much that's going on in the world right now, so I chose to detach. But every now and then I get news. I do keep up with it. I read things that come in my feed, whether it's a YouTube video or it's just my sleep schedule is backwards. I sleep during the day and I'm up all night. Oh. So yeah, I read things in my feed. And hi guys, welcome in. Thank you for coming in. But we need to talk about these rising prices of food. Hi Eddie, welcome in. Food is very expensive. And now I talk to my friends, we talk amongst each other and have those conversations. We need to be stocking up on food because I was reading that there is a food crisis in other places. Now, it may not be at your house, but we give God the glory for still being able to eat, because we are near about, I could say a recession for some. It's a lot that's going on. And if you got to buy groceries, what can you do? Because I don't grow my own food. I'm probably getting ready to start doing that. Definitely getting ready to start doing that. Just starting with the basics, because we are in a time of praying for sure. Definitely in a time of praying for sure. Inflation is getting out of hand. It is so so I'm a dreamer. I dream a lot, and the Lord showed me things in my dreams. And remember doing the P word? You guys know what I'm talking about. Fill in the blanks. But remember when that happened about, oh God, it's been about 5 years ago when that happened and the shelves were empty. People were in a panic. They were selling, it was crazy. They were selling toilet paper. People would buy stuff off Amazon and they were selling it at the highest bidder. That time is coming again. Now, right now, we are able to buy food, obviously. It hasn't come to my house yet. But I know that there is going to be a time where food is going to be a commodity. It's just been in my spirit for the past, like this month, actually, where I've just been like, I pay attention. I pay attention to everything. When we're buying potato chips and you look in the bags have mostly air in it and not potato chips. I pay attention to things like that. Or like when you go in a store and you see a sign, we're out of this food or we're out of that food. Um, where am I? I'm in the Carolinas. That is where I am. And so I pay attention to all that stuff. But like I said, I wanted to come on today because it's just been bothering me. Hi, Meryl. AMR, hi. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Timmy, laugh, EBT. Well, I don't get that. Give God the glory if that's something that you get. But we don't get that. And so even if you were getting it, the food prices are still going up. They're going to continue to go up. And it's nothing that we can do about it other than to prepare for what's to come. I think that's an elephant in the room that had to be addressed. Not really with you guys. You guys are my people, but just to talk about it, because I love to shop for my food. I love to buy. I don't buy anything if it's not a sale. And so I see that we got about 19 people in the room. If you're coming in, if you can like the live stream, what that does is it allow YouTube to promote my live stream, or others can see it on YouTube. But I shop on sale. I always shop on sale. I don't buy anything full price. And the reason why is because of the way that the economy is right now. I think blindly, sometimes, like for myself, because I don't watch the news, I chose to disassociate myself with what's going on. But it doesn't mean that it's not happening. It doesn't mean that it's not real. It's just for my mental health. I chose not to watch the news because there's nothing good on the news. Hi, SH10. Hi there. There's nothing good on the news anymore. It's always the tariffs, and it's always the food shortages, or it's always, bad things happening to people. So I don't, like I said, necessarily divulge into the news. I do watch because, you still have to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on. But I'm telling you, every time I go in the store, I went and I bought milk. I purchased some milk. We drink the almond milk. I spent almost $6 for the milk. It was about $6 because I think it was $5.42 or something like that, and then with the taxes and stuff added. So of course that's extremely expensive, but I spent $6 for a gallon of milk. You see what I mean? So I'm paying attention to everything because we have to pay attention. And I really believe that now is a time, while we are able to get up and go to the grocery store, is to prepare. You don't want to be like the foolish virgins when in the Bible, when it talked about they didn't prepare. You want to prepare. You have to prepare. We have to prepare. So what we've been doing is when we go and do our regular grocery shopping, I might buy an extra bag of beans. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money, but I might do, because the beans, like dry beans, you can buy them in the bag, and they're probably about a little over $2 for a pound of beans. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but as you buy, it will stock up on your food. Now, you hear some that may say, well, God didn't tell me to stock up on food, and that's okay. I just pay attention to the times. I just pay attention to, because there are some places that have a famine. They're not eating because food is a commodity, and that is what's going to come here in the United States. It's going to be a time, I know so. I feel it, which is why the Lord is preparing us for what's to come. Now, I don't have this big barn full of food up to the roof, but I'm telling you, we go and we get extra stuff and we put it aside. There's nothing wrong with that, because I can't spend $300 in the grocery store every day. That's probably a little dramatic, but I'm just saying, we can't spend $300 every day in the grocery store, but we do go to the grocery store on a daily basis. Now, I do Sam's Club and things like that where I can buy in bulk, but those items, like the things that we eat every day, I don't buy a lot of that in bulk. They do have the 20-pound bag of rice that you can buy at Sam's Club, and it's about maybe $20, $18 to $20. So if you have a couple of extra bucks, you can go to Sam's Club and buy you some extra rice, because I'm telling you guys, I know this is not the normal live stream that I do, but I'm telling you guys that we are in a time, and it's time to wake up, Sleeping Beauty. Time to wake up, Sleeping Beauty, and pay attention to what's happening. You don't need me to tell you, obviously. You probably watch the news or you probably read like I do, but there is a lot that's going on. There are people that are hurting. There are things that we cannot control. What we can control is, while we're able to get up and go to the grocery store and still buy food, is to stock up. Put some beans and some rice and stuff like that together and just store it away. Now listen, we don't eat beans and rice. My children, it's so funny. My children, they were like, Mommy, we don't eat canned. Like, I buy stuff in the cans and I kind of stock up on that. And they were like, we have canned food. These children today, let me tell you, they are something else. But see, when we were growing up, we didn't have a choice to be picky or choosy of whatever it was that my grandmother had in the kitchen. And she was able to put a meal together without having a whole lot of money. That time is now, because of the inflation and all the stuff that's going on. Believe me, the prices are going to get higher. The prices are definitely going to get higher. So like I said, I didn't want to keep you guys on here long. I just wanted to do my little rant about this food and what's going on. And every time, it seems like every time we go to the grocery store, there's always it's like these little printed pieces of paper for a specific item that they don't have. Oh, we're out of this or we're out of that. Pay attention to that. That's not there as, you know, decoration or decor. That's there to tell you, you know, you may want to look at certain things and open your eyes and look at it. But now, you know, some people's beliefs may be different. And if you believe something different, or if you don't believe that you're supposed to stock up and get food, or if you don't believe that when you buy potato chips, like I said, I pay attention to that, buying potato chips, and you're paying for the air instead of the chips. Because you look at we buy the family bags of potato chips, like if we're going to do hot dogs or something like that, something simple, and it's more air in the bag than it is chips. And I know somebody pay attention to that too. It's not just me. So if you pay attention to it, put it in the chat, because I pay attention to everything. I may not say anything, but I watch. And that is what we have to do. We have to be watchful. We have to watch as well as pray. So if you are seeing that, that's a telltale sign. This country is in a catastrophe right now. You know? I don't want to be like on the Titanic when they were playing the music and the Titanic is going down and sinking. You follow me? Or in the Bible when it talks about the end times, and when Noah was building the ark and everybody is just laughing and drinking wine and being merry. I don't want to do that. So if I go, like I said, if I go in the grocery stores and I see what's going on, I tell my husband, now he's visual as well, but he don't really, I won't say he doesn't care, but his his personality is a little different. Like me, I see it, I'm like, okay, so we need to stock up on this. Okay, the meat is, how much is the meat this week? So we need to stock up on this meat over here, or we need to stock up on this rice or these beans. And he, on the other hand, be like, well, we have the money, so if we don't get it today, we can get it tomorrow. But the state of this country right now, we can wake up tomorrow and everything crash, the system crash. I just want you guys to really, 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 really get that. Like, we can wake up tomorrow and the system crash. That is how important it is. That's how it's detrimental right now. And so there's a lot of distractions, for social media, like what the news will portray. They'll tell you what they want you to know. They don't talk. Now, I'm on TikTok. I have a TikTok account as well as YouTube, and I have heard news on TikTok that I have never heard on YouTube, because TikTok is sort of uncensored while the news is censored. So they put that information out on TikTok, and I can bet you can find anything you want to know on TikTok. And these creators, they come on and they make these videos and they're talking about this stuff. Now, there are a handful of people who will say, you know what? I'm gonna start my garden. I have a few friends that have started gardens and already been gardening for about a couple of years now. I have not started gardening, but that is something that I need to do, like ASAP. I need to learn how to live off the land, just in case we wake up, like I said, tomorrow and there's no food. Now, like I said, some of you may say that's a little bit of a reach, Nicole, but that's because you're able to get in the car and drive to the grocery store. That's why it may seem like a little reach, because you're able to drive and go to the grocery store. But what happens when, the system crash or the food runs out and you can't get up and go to the grocery store? I think about things like that, not to bring like fear mongering, but I think about those things because there is always a what if, there's always a what if. Yes, God is faithful. God has been good to me in my house. We're able to buy the grocery despite what the groceries cost, but we also have to look in hindsight. Okay, this is costing way too much. They're doing the most with these groceries. Now, that's one thing I would like to put on my taxes and write off. Groceries, my grocery bill. I would love to put that on my taxes and write it off, but that's not gonna happen. I got, oh, I'm not sure what they, oh, thank you. You like my earrings? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for liking the earrings. If you guys are in the room, if you can like the live stream, if you are participating in the conversation, because what that does is it promotes the video. But like I said, this was addressing the elephant in the room. Have to address the elephant in the room with these prices, and everything is going up. And you know what? They can do it. They can do whatever they want to do, because if the economy is in a mess, these retail stores, it could be $6 now for milk, but tomorrow they can make it $10 if they want to, because of the state of emergency that we're in right now. So I've just been paying attention to everything, despite my shopping. Watch my YouTube videos. I like to shop and things like that, but I always shop on a sale. But when I went to the grocery store and I purchased those 5 items and it cost that much just for 5 items, I'm like, okay, Lord, what are we doing here? Because we're not in the time right now where you can buy a whole trunk full of groceries for less than $100. We're in a time now where you have a trunk full of groceries. Be expecting to spend about $300 to $400 if you're trying to get what you're trying to get. So I have been blessed with a skill set where I am able to budget as well as shop, be able to budget the things that I purchase, because you have to be able to budget. You have to be a good steward over what the Lord has given you. And so I have learned to be a good steward over my finances, which is why we're able to do little things. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, that's something we got to talk about, these groceries. The food costs. And remember when eggs was like $8, and in some places they were like $10. They were like $10 for eggs. What in the world? Now you tell me why. In that case, I am going to I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm going to just buy a chicken. I told my husband we're going to buy some chickens and put some chickens in the yard. He's like, really, Nicole? You with chickens? That's a sight to see. Because we like eggs. I love eggs, especially boiled eggs. I like eggs, and it's high in protein. But now let's just talk about that for really quickly here. I'm probably not going to buy a chicken. My husband will probably be the person to buy the chicken. I probably won't buy the chicken because I'm a visual person, like I just said. So if we need chicken or the eggs or whatever, I don't want any parts of that. I just want to go pick the eggs up and then put them in the pan. You know, back in the day when they had the chickens, they would wring the little chicken neck. I don't want to be a part of that. Because if I see that and I have to, pluck it and all that, I probably would not eat it. So, I probably would not eat it. Now, if you watching, can you guys comment? I don't know what's going on with my, I don't know what's going on with the comments, why you guys can't comment, but let's see. Hang on one second. It says live chat is on. Live chat summary is on. Participant mode is anyone. Message delay is none. Okay, so if you can comment, let me know. And if you can't, well, I just have to figure out why and what's going on with it. But like I said, it is very real. It is getting very real out here. With this inflation and these prices on everything. And I try to buy on sale, but even the things that we buy on sale, you ever go, I'm a Dollar Tree person, so I love Dollar Tree. I go in there and you can buy, don't sleep on Dollar Tree, because you can get your seasonings, you can get some of your cereal or like name brand things that you would like to eat that's in the grocery store. You can actually get that from Dollar Tree. But even going there, you go in there and like everything is $1.25, or now they're bringing stuff $2 and $3 at Dollar Tree because things, the prices and stuff is going up. But you can go in there and spend a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? And it's just like, man, how in the world did I spend $50, $60 in Dollar Tree? What did I buy? It's because everything is going up. I think when when Dollar Tree added the 25 cents to when they added the 25 cents to the dollar, the stuff that was in Dollar Tree, I think I near about passed out. I'm like, what? A whole 25 cents? Yeah. I probably was one of the ones like, no, with my drama. Yeah. But like I said, we have got to come up with a game plan as far as this food and just inflation in general. Gas prices, all of that stuff. And it is getting harder and harder to budget because of how much things cost. And like I said, I pay attention to everything. I try to, we are supposed to watch as well as pray. But even if you're not a believer, looking at what's going on in the world will make you believe something. Because this country is in a mess. It is in a mess. And the only thing that we can do is pray. And not to take it to a political standpoint, but even if you don't like the person that's in office, we still have a duty as being believers to still pray. We have to still pray for that individual. Sounds crazy, but we got to pray, because I got to live here. My children have to live here. Eventually, grandchildren have to live here. You know what I'm saying? So we still got to be praying. We still have to pray. Yeah, we still have to pray. This is the praying time. Definitely a praying time. And, you know, I wanted to come on and say hi to you guys, but just also chat with like-minded people that are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. You know, being able to say, you know what, something's not right. You know, mainstream media only present to us what they want us to see. But the real hidden agenda is the spiritual warfare. It is definitely spiritual warfare in this hour. No one can tell me anything differently. You can't tell me anything differently, because all you have to do if you watch the news is turn the TV on and watch the news. Turn it on and see what you see. Catastrophe. The Bible talks about the famine in the land. All of that stuff. All of that stuff talks about the famine. It's coming. Whether we want to hear it or not. You know, like I said, I don't want to be on the Titanic with the music playing, the violin, the sweet music, while the Titanic is sinking. And you're just like, oh yeah, we're in a bed of roses. I don't want to be like that. I want to be like, okay, so this is what we got. We're going to put this money together. What can we get with this? Okay, we can buy a little extra beans, like I said earlier in the live. Or we can buy a little extra rice, like I said earlier. Buying things as we're going to the grocery store. You know what I mean? Because when that time comes and you're not able to buy it, then what? Food is going to be the highest commodity. I can assure you of that. Your money is not going to get you out. Because when the system crash, what can you do with the money? Do you understand what I'm saying? My grandmother said something to me before she died, before she passed away. She's been gone for about a year now. And some days are harder than others when you're grieving. But there was something that she said to me, not just to me, but in regards to the family. She told the bishop when they went to visit her that I'm not afraid to die because I know where I'm going. And I have lived a life according to how the Lord wants me to live. I'm concerned about my family. That's what she said. She said, I'm concerned about my family. When I had my last conversation with her, I can recall the last conversation with her, we were talking about a garden. That was a year ago. And I said, well, Granny, I don't know anything about gardening. I'm just starting to get into it, like with my plants and stuff like that. But I said, I don't know how to do a garden. And she said, Google it. I was so appalled. I said, really, Granny? She said, Google it. It's not hard. But if you don't know how to do it, find the resources, learn how to live off the land. Because that time is coming again. Where we're gonna have to live off the land. And Lord knows, I can just be honest about Nicole. My goodness, if and when this thing happens with this food and how this world is getting ready to turn, what it's turning into, I can say for me, I am not ready. I have no idea. I got a little bit of idea. I can plant the seeds, but it's just the caring for it and watering it. I got to make sure it has just enough water, like research the type of plants that I want to have. I can start with strawberries or peppers or small things. Start with potatoes and things like that to learn like how much water I need. You don't want to overwater it because that can kill the plant too. So yeah, I have to put myself into a position where I am able to learn how to do these things, because if I don't, and as well as a lot of people that are probably watching, when the ship sails, we are going to be in for something if we have not stored. We have to store up. We have to store up. You have to store. You have to put things aside, even when it comes to spending money. I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about saving money. That is even hard to do. Although we have something, a little nest egg, but every time you get ready to put more money into it, then here comes something that you got to do. You know what I mean? So then it depletes what you put aside. So you have to have something saved, because what happens when you got to break camp and get out of here? What happens then when it's time to go? Where are you going? You have no money. You have no food set aside. When Hurricane Katrina happened, I was young, but I could still see the catastrophe and what happened, and families were lost. There was so much that happened, but I hear when people talk about it today, they're like, well, they could have just gotten out. But how can you do that if you hadn't planned? If you don't think, or if it never happened in your area? Like in the Carolinas, I never heard of an earthquake here, but they've been happening a lot lately. You follow me? Earthquakes in diverse places. It's true. So I'm like, wait, what? I didn't know that we were on the fault line for earthquakes. Never thought about it. Then you start doing your research, then you start digging and looking at things, and it's like, wow. They even have now for I'm trying to quote it, I'm thinking about it. It's like an online resource where they tell you what to do in case of an earthquake. So we were reading it and looking over it, but it is not normal here. All the storms and all of the 1 second, guys, I have to hide a user, and then I'm going to remove. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to remove some of the foolishness that was on my live stream. We're subject to anything when you go live, so I apologize about that. That was a distraction, but I forgot what I was saying now. My goodness. But there is storms and stuff everywhere. Everywhere you turn, there's flooding. People are losing their lives. It is, as I mentioned, it is as real as you can put your hand in front of your face. That's how real the hour is. And I'm not a pastor. I'm not a prophet. None of those things. I just wanted to come on and share what I've been thinking about these last few days. Going to the grocery store and looking at how much I'm paying, and what I'm going to start doing is keeping the receipts, and every couple of months I'm going to compare how much I paid for this item this month versus this month. because the prices are fluctuating and they're going up. So we have our little nest egg aside. It's not a whole lot, but you know, if we had to get in our car and drive and get out of town, we could do so. To God be the glory. But I'm just paying attention to what's in front of me, and it's I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope I wasn't too long-winded today. You know, I hope I wasn't too long-winded. I hope you got something out of this conversation, but it was just my little rant, because I'm like, my goodness, you know, versus when we would buy food for four, a family of four, we could do takeout and it will be less than $60. Sometimes now, if we do takeout, like we would do takeout on a Friday, maybe $70, $80 or more. Just depends on the type of food that you want to eat. In our case, our little boy wants to eat Chick-fil-A. So he likes Chick-fil-A. He's probably going to turn into a chicken because he likes Chick-fil-A so much. But even in that, you know, if you DoorDash that, my goodness, you spend about $80 for a family of four for just that. So pay attention to what's going on. Stock up. You know, if it's not something for you, it's okay. But if it's something that you heard and it spoke to you, yes, do it. Do it. We know what God is saying because we can hear. It may not be something that is for you, and that's okay. But if it is something for you, share this live stream with somebody. It's not my normal live stream. I'm usually shopping or out of town, or might be at home sitting at my table, but this one is just slightly different. I just had to come on and talk about it, addressing the elephant in the room with these high prices for food. This inflation has gotten out of hand. But what can we do? We can't control the masses, but there are small things that we can do. Like I mentioned, you can start your garden, like I'm getting ready to do, and I will take you guys on my journey when I do that. Also, buy extra things. What that looks like, you don't have to spend $300 every time you go. Just buy something extra when you go to the grocery store and put it aside. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone. If you're like, well, Nicole, you know, we should probably have a part 2. We can have a part 2. We can talk. You know, you guys are my family, so we can have a part 2. We can talk about it for sure. But it's we're in a time of praying. Definitely a time of praying. Not sure when I'm going to go live again. I'm trying to be consistent with my live streams. Sometimes it's a little hard to do because of my busy work schedule, or just being a mommy and a wife and all those other things, or we might be traveling. So it's a little hard to do, but I wanted to take some time out of my day to jump on and say hi to you guys. I hope you're doing good. Before I go, we have 500 subscribers, actually 504 subscribers. So yay! Thank you guys so much for your support. It means a lot. It means a lot. I was one of the people that said I would never do YouTube. I would never do YouTube. For what? So I waited until I got in my 40s to want to get on social media, and it's been a year. So it's been a year since I've had my YouTube channel. The past 6 months, I want to say 5 or 6 months, I've been very consistent with creating my content, just being creative. And know that whatever you do, if you have a YouTube channel or not, you can be, how can I say it? People can mock what you do, but you are the original. You got that? So People can mock what you do, but you are the original. This may be for somebody, but I came on YouTube. I didn't really have an idea of where I want to go or what kind of content. It just sort of fell in my lap because I'm like, I'm just going to be Nicole. I'm going to be authentic. And the authenticity turned into being a real content creator. And then after being a real content creator, I'm like, you know what? I could probably do something with this. I could probably monetize. So I am just so grateful. I am just so grateful. Everything that I'm praying for, God is bringing to fruition. It may seem small to some, but it's something big for me because I stayed with it. Even in the little things, like I'm using an example for YouTube. Even in the little things, I stayed with it. I continued to pour out. I continued to enjoy what I do. You have to enjoy it for sure. You have to enjoy it. You may not get all the views that you want, or you may not go viral. That's okay. I've learned to cancel the noise. Yeah, I've learned to cancel the noise and just really enjoy what I do. And it shows in my content creation. So thank you again to everybody who has supported this channel. Thank you again to everyone who have shared it, whether you were family, co-worker, or just someone that I met. I meet a lot of people out and about, maybe restaurants or Walmart. Thank you to everybody who has supported me along this journey, which is why we're named Bovian Journeys. Excuse me. Bovian Journeys is the name of the channel. Life is a journey. Life is a journey, and I want to take you guys with me. There's a lot of things I have coming up. Everything is content. Do you know that? Everything is content. Whether you are out and about or whether you're at home or if it's an idea, everything is content. Even if you're just outside watching the sunrise, that's content too. So just continue to be authentic, continue to love what you do. And that's it. That's all I have for today. Again, thank you for your support. I'm going to get off of here now, but really think about what I said earlier about it wasn't just about the inflation with the prices of food. It was about really expressing and sharing with you the times that we're living in. You have to continue to pray. You have to continue to seek God's face. I don't know what your beliefs are, but if this was something that holds true to you, just share it with someone. All right? I love you. I'm going to get off of here because I have a few more errands to run, but I just wanted to come on and say thank you for my 500 subscribers, and thank you for listening to me rant. If you've made it to the end of this video, woohoo! And if you have not followed us already, please comment, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this video with a friend, and until next time, guys, ciao.